Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines for your favorite sports podcast around the felt sports, but more so your favorite football podcast. I'm your host, Reagan, here with my co host, Colin, and we're going to bring you all things week 12 in the NFL, getting into all the games, getting into all the gambling, and getting into all the fantasy. We're going to cover it all. So all I ask is buckle up and join the show.
Let's go. What an intro out of you. What an intro. Let's rock.
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I know we're a little later in the week. The boys got caught up. The boys are busy, but we still get our pod in for all you guys listening. Recording on Thursday night now, and Bills Texans just kicked off. So
yeah.
Well,
we might as well just talk about it quick. Well, we don't need to talk about the game, but just who do you got in that game? Since we're starting as the kickoff just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. So we don't want to be changing picks, even after the wheel smacks the first touchdown on Shakir. But I got Buffalo winning and covering the 4.5.
I got Buffalo winning and covering. I don't think we need to get into it because by the time most people listen to this, the game will be over. But I think the Bills dominate this one.
Yeah, you know what? For me, it was just like, Josh Allen versus Davis Mills. I don't care that Houston's at home. Give me Josh Allen in that matchup.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to get into the news?
Yeah, let's get into the news here. So, Joe Burrow, full participant in practice for the second straight day. Could we be seeing the return of Joe Burrow this upcoming Sunday against the New England Patriots? It looks like it.
I think we can, and I hope we do. I mean, right now, the line's Patriots on the road, 6-point favorites. So, to me, that says they still think it's Flacco. I still think they would be road dog or home dogs, regardless of if he plays, just because of the fact that the rust aspect. But plus, yeah, sorry, I'm a little hammered. But plus because of the no, I'm not. But not it. Yeah, dude, I love the hiccups, bro. I haven't even eaten. I don't know why I'm hiccuping. But plus just the fact that their defense is so cheeks, and New England is on a 7-game win streak, I believe, or 8 now. I mean, they're just been piss hot. So it's hard to fade them, regardless of who the quarterback is.
I know, but it almost feels like the return of Joe Burrow, they're due for a loss. I could see it.
Yeah,
I could see it. All right, moving on here. Michael Penix Jr., it is official. The ACL damage is too much. He's consulted with multiple doctors. Another ACL surgery for Michael Penix, his third at 25 years old. To the other knee, it's at least a 9-month recovery. Maybe he's ready for the start of the season in 2026, but not ideal. And if you're Atlanta, do you keep Kirk Cousins for another year? I don't think he's going to be happy about that. But you got to think they're going to have to add some type of quarterback with Penix, because you got to have the concerns about his long-term availability and how this is going to impact his growth.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, I would think they probably still let Kirk go because, is it worth paying him that's a very, very expensive, filler / backup. So I think they're going to try to get away from him as soon as possible. For Penix, man, it sucks. And I know Drake London may miss this week. So team's got 3 wins. Their season's already over. They're falling apart. So I wouldn't be shocked if, Drake London really gets bubble wrapped the rest of the way and they even potentially stick him on IR, similar to what the Jets did with Garrett Wilson, where it's yeah, he could probably be back in 2 weeks, but why risk the cornerstone wide receiver?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's just obviously such a lost season for Atlanta. Just not what you expected. And that first-round pick going to the Rams is going to be really nice for Les Snead and crew.
Yeah. That's the fucked up thing, because if the Rams somehow, win the Super Bowl or go really far, they're still going to have a top 10 pick most likely. So I guess that also makes it they don't want to tank, maybe that aspect. But bad year to have a bad year for them with not having your pick. Very bad year.
So bad. And the last piece of news that we got tonight, Ian Rappaport tweeted out that Joe Mixon, with his foot injury that he suffered in the offseason, is not expected to return this season. Joe Mixon fires back on Twitter. Ian, how do you know more about me than me? And then he told some agent to go get his mans. So Joe Mixon saying that he might be back this season now, with Houston sitting at 5-5.
I don't even know,
man.
He does come back, but I don't know if it matters. I would say, from what we've seen from Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, like Woody Marks is definitely the better back out of the two. But I don't think it matters, to be honest. I don't think anyone's going to be able to run the ball successfully anyway. So I don't think it changes anything for Houston. I would say where Joe Mixon is in his career and, Woody Marks in his early career, I don't think the drop-off's very different. I'd say they're probably pretty even. And I'm probably going to go with the younger back that's not dealing with obviously a very serious injury that's kept him out the whole entire season so far. So I don't think it really matters either way. And for fantasy, I don't think even if he does return, like you're not putting him in the playoffs. You're not risking that. I mean, you could barely play Woody Marks as is.
I know you can barely play Woody Marks if he's not scoring a touchdown or getting a lot of receiver work. He's putting up duds. And I don't know. The only hope that I have is I took him in a couple best ball leagues, hoping he'd come back because I got him really late, and it's just been a waste of a roster spot, I guess. So that's really the only thing that matters for me. I don't have him in any other league. So, all right, that's all we got for news, Reagan. What do we got in the mailbag tonight?
Well, I want to start with one of my things I was thinking about recently, and I've been thinking about it because they've been emailing me and my brother a lot, and I'm like, damn, like it's got to be a tough job if you work for, the Jets, the Browns, some of these really sorry franchises that haven't been good for a long time, even the Giants at this point. Like, imagine having to be a ticket sales rep and like trying to tell people like, hey, you should buy season tickets, or hey, come out for a game at this point in the season. Why in the world would you want to buy tickets right now for these jacked up prices, let alone invest in a full season, especially like as a Jets one? I'm like, damn, like these poor people must get no answers or just like so many like fuck offs all the time. I mean, think about how tough of it is. And if you're actually good at it, then you might be one of the best salesperson out there. I mean, I was thinking about that, right? I mean, it's pretty
You're
crazy.
right. That is a tough job. You wake up and you go to the office. You're like, oh fuck, another day of like no one answering me, trying to sell tickets. I mean,
like, how are you even supposed to like? What are you supposed to tell them to actually convince them? Like, why would anyone at this point want to go to like a Jets game? Like, what would you like? Think about? Oh my God, get him!
No, the wheel lost. James Cook just cribbed that shit.
Oh, fuck.
No.
He didn't even get a chance, bro. Why didn't he get hawked?
Shakir was like a good spin though, because you just had a kid, so you kind of felt like that was a good pick. But of course, it's just a chalky running back. But when we have the chalky running back, it doesn't fucking work out for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say James Cook was like probably like plus 300, so it doesn't really matter. But whatever. All right, let's get into the questions. That's enough crying. All right, so first up, we got Zach, Mr. Around the Octagon. He wants to know which team this week is in the biggest must-win situation. That is so unbelievably easy for me to answer. It's 100% the Kansas City Chiefs, because if they lose, dude, it's the easy answer. If they lose, you could basically kiss their playoff hopes gone. I mean, you then fall to 5-6. Unfortunately, Jacksonville, the Chargers, and the Bills all have the head-to-head right now. But if Jacksonville is to get a win against the Cardinals, which they should, that puts you 2 games back with the head-to-head. You basically have to win out. And even if you win out at 11-6, it should still give you a good chance, but you're not guaranteed at 11-6 with losing all those head-to-heads. So I think this is a must-win for them. But also, it's tough to think that if they do fall to 5-6, that they're going to go 6-0 down the stretch. So really, to me, this is a big-time must-win.
Yeah, I mean, that's mine. It's the easy one. Another one that you can consider that it's not like, all right, season's fucked if you don't get it, but it's just for momentum purposes, like Pittsburgh against Chicago. They're at 6-4 Pittsburgh. They're reeling right now. Rodgers is beat up, and Baltimore just keeps winning and winning and winning and winning. So if Pittsburgh continues to slide, like confidence is just going to switch, and it's going to feel like in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, all the pressure is on them. So just for the optics of their season, with how it's going to look down the stretch, it's a big week for Pittsburgh to continue to fend off Baltimore. But like obviously playoff implications, yeah, Kansas City a loss here to go under 500. Not what anyone expected, and that's the easy answer. That's the one I thought of first.
Yeah, because you also got to think, too, I mean, it puts them in such a bad spot. I mean, another one you could say is the Bengals, too. If they lose this week, whether it's with or without Joe Burrow, their season's cooked. They basically have to – I guess they don't have to win out because, they're still only 3 games back of Pittsburgh right now, or actually 3.5 games back of Pittsburgh, but it's still possible – unlikely, but still in the conversation for the division. But I would say at this point, like that's another team as well. All right, let's move on. Mr. Lino, what's up, Lino?
Nice.
Thank you for
Lino.
submitting. He wants to know, do we think Daniel Jones remains a top 10 fantasy quarterback this season?
I mean, what would change
that's
from
tough.
what we've seen, the rest of the season? Like the Colts, I don't have their schedule right in front of me. I'd be curious to see
pull it
what
up.
they got
I
down
got
the
it.
stretch here.
They got the Chiefs, Texans, Jaguars, Seahawks, 49ers, Jaguars, Texans. So they have some really, really
that's
good
brutal.
defenses coming up.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Houston twice. Kansas City ain't easy. Seattle ain't easy. Those are some
And even
loaded
Jacksonville's shown
defenses.
some flashes, and the
Jacksonville
Niners still
too.
have
What is
figured
he
out a
right-
way to still be tough with a terrible defense on paper.
What is he right now in the season? QB what?
I'll check that, but it is wild to think that the Colts have all their games left are against teams 500 or better.
That is insane, man.
That's probably because I was looking at the odds. I'm like, damn, for Jacksonville being back 2 spots, like they really are giving them respect. And it's like, no, they're not really giving Jacksonville respect. They're just saying, hey, listen, the Colts got a rough schedule coming up. I did not realize that it gets that tough. I would think they'll still win the division or at least get a wild card because even if they go like 3-4 down the stretch, it still gets you to 11-6. So right now he's QB 9.
8 or 9. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of see him slipping out of that into like the QB 12 to 15 range. I don't know. I mean, he's been pretty damn consistent, so it's hard to think that's going to change. He's not really turning the ball over a ton. Of course, he always has the rushing upside to score, but that schedule down the stretch is really brutal. So maybe he slides out of that top 10.
Brutal. Unbelievably brutal. And then he wants to know, give me a running back's rushing yards that's a lock this weekend.
Ooh. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs against the Giants seems pretty fucking safe. The Giants can't stop the run to save their life. You got to think Saquon against Dallas. He's usually played really well against Dallas. And, I mean, I don't know. Dallas that did pretty well against Ashton Genty, but I know Lane Johnson's out too.
Yeah, I kind of like Judkins against the Raiders because they like to feed him the rock, and I think that's a very, very positive matchup for the Browns in general, where they'll be in the game and the Raiders aren't going to blow them out of the water that they have to, turn into their garbage time check down offense. So I think that bodes well for him because the line's set at like 70 yards right now. He'll get probably 20 carries, so it's just simple math here. He doesn't have to go too crazy on a yards per carry to make that work. So that's one I like a lot.
What about Derrick Henry against your Jets? No more Quinnon Williams. They're 13.5-point favorites. So you think they're going to be ahead?
I would say I like that,
home.
especially knowing him where it's like he could get bottled up early and then he just takes one for 60 yards and you're like, yeah, I'm chilling. So definitely that one's in play as well.
Cold weather Derrick Henry is a different breed.
I would think Bejan for 80 yards isn't bad. Even Algier for 25 isn't bad because they use him a lot. And
you got to think they're
going to
run the ball a ton. They're going to run the ball a ton with Kirk Cousins and no Drake London, most likely.
Yeah, I like Dowdle on Monday Night Football against the Niners. I think if you're going to beat them, but they're also pretty banged up, especially on that D line. So I could see him getting some stuff going there as well. And his last one's just a punishment idea. Order a bagel with a pound of cream cheese and insist on a pound.
Dude, I don't like cream cheese. That would be awful for me.
Go into bagels for you and be like, my girlfriend's dad owns this place. Give me a pound on my bagel.
I could get a pound of cream cheese very easily. That's a very doable punishment.
It'd be kind of funny to have. You gotta wear the meta glasses and just you freaking out on somebody. But do you know who my girlfriend is? Give me a pound of cream cheese. And they just give it to you with like just a bagel cut open with just a huge block of cream cheese.
But you like cream cheese. That wouldn't even be that bad for you.
I mean, I like
a pound
cream
is
cheese.
Still disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like cream cheese, but I don't like a pound of cream cheese. It's like fucking obesity level there. Fuck.
Clogging the arteries.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, who cares? Take a year off the life, whatever. But let's move on. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's it. So thank you all for submitting. So we might as well get into the games. I mean, I know we already talked about it. We're not going to do Bills Texans as we're recording during this game. So let's get into the Lions Giants, right?
Yeah, let's talk Lions Giants here. Game in Detroit. Actually, something that's pretty quirky about the Lions schedule. I know they're catching some slack. The offense has not been at the same level and how they can't play outdoors. Starting from now to the end of the season, the Lions play in a dome every single game. So that's good for their offense here. And they got the Giants at home in the dome as 10 point favorites. That feels about right. The over under 49.5 for the Giants. It looks like Jackson Dart may be back. He was a limited participant the past 2 days, but he didn't make any progress today. I actually saw a report come out. The front office wants him to wait till after the Week 14 bye, but the
which is understandable.
The coaching staff wants him to play. So 10-point spread. I kind of don't. I mean, obviously Dart's better than Jameis, but I don't know if the line would even move that much.
Are you sure?
It wouldn't move that. I don't think the line would move that drastically. So 10 kind of feels right. What do you think here, Reagan?
I honestly don't see how the Lions don't kill him here. I honestly, when I was looking at it, I'm like, damn, like I think that might be the play with the Lions is after a bad, embarrassing loss on primetime, just take them, just take them to freaking dominate the next week. It seems like every time they lose, Campbell's just like, all right, we're going to just keep our foot on the gas pedal the whole entire time and try to score as many points as possible. Yep. So this seems like one of those ones where he just tries to put up 50 points. Is that Woody?
Good run for
So I'm going with the Lions here, but also like for the Giants, it's just like, Jameis looked good last week outside of the really bad pick at the end, but, he was playing so conservative, and that's not like – I don't think that's what gets you to beat the Lions. Like, you actually need Jameis to be Jameis. You can't have Jameis being this conservative guy because, you take the picks, but you also take the deep balls where he's, throwing it in the double coverage and the receiver's making a good play. So you need the old Jameis if you want to go and beat him.
Yeah, I hate to do it. I'm also taking the Lions to win.
Big fan.
And cover. I'm just sitting here thinking like I don't remember the exact stat, but there was some stat about Dan Campbell and how the Lions under him just never lose back-to-back games. And you're right when you said like it feels like they always come out and they always put their foot on the gas like for a full 60 minutes after a loss to almost send a message. And for me, it's like they're at home. There's a lot of shit going on with the Giants in terms of like leaks coming out of the locker room and all this. Like vibes are just not high right now. I don't really care if it's Dart or Jameis. Like my concern is their defense. I think Detroit hangs at least 40 points on this defense the way they can't stop the run. Adebo's out again, so the corners they're playing are absolute trash. Amon-Ra should feast. Gibbs should feast. I think Montgomery might look like vintage Montgomery too. My concern's with the defense, not the offense here. Detroit will just run away with this one.
You taking somebody in big dogs from this game?
I never pick against the Giants, but this week, I think I might have to. I'm going to be honest. I think I might go Amon-Ra St. Brown back. He's in the Hall of Fame, so I might add him back in this one because
it's going to be one of Gibbs, Montgomery, or St. Brown.
I know it's going to be one of
Brock
them. Like
Wright. Get cheeky. Take Brock Wright.
Brock Wright is really cheeky because Laporta's on IR, so that could play. Because my problem is you can't go. You're not going to be able to go Gibbs. He's going to be like minus 200, I think, in this game with this matchup. So maybe Amon-Ra will be around like even money, maybe minus 120. That always plays. If we want to really juice it up, maybe go Brock Wright.
There you go. I don't know if we need to get that juicy, but yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Pittsburgh at Chicago. The Bears are a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know, man. Bears are 7-3. Pittsburgh 6-4. I don't necessarily believe either of these teams are really good. I mean, I even know a Bears fan who's like, yeah, I don't really think we're that good of a team, but like Ben Johnson just keeps finding a way to win. So, with the Bears streaking right now at 7-3, Aaron Rodgers beat up. What are your thoughts on this game, Reagan?
I think your friend's a fake fan for that. I'd be freaking going. I mean, come on. The Bears have been bad for so long, man. You just got to take it. Even if it ain't true, you got to own it, man, and just be hyped. So, but whatever. I don't know. I haven't been in that spot in a while, so I guess I don't know the proper way to act. But what I do know is I think the Bears are going to win again. They just keep winning, and Mason Rudolph does not scare me. It sounds like it's definitely going to be him. I guess I haven't officially ruled out Rodgers, but I find it hard to believe that it would be Rodgers. I mean, it sounds like his hand's pretty banged up, and at that age, and the fact that they do still have playoff aspirations, I can't imagine they're throwing him in, especially. It's a long season, so but that doesn't matter to me. I think the Bears will roll here at home. This is a classic Pittsburgh game coming in as like a 2.5 point, 3.5 point underdog that they get to win, but I'm still taking the Bears who have been piss hot and just keep winning. And I really like what I've seen from Caleb, man. Like he's maneuvering around the pocket so well right now. Like, it's not the Caleb from last year where it's like he was holding the ball and like anytime he tried to scramble, he'd just get sacked. Like, he's getting out of those sacks and then making big throws downfield. So I really like what I'm seeing from him. And like I said, dark horse MVP candidate right there.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, this is a really good matchup for Caleb and the Bears. The Steelers still are the team that allows the most passing yards per game. And with Mason Rudolph at the helm, are they going to be able to keep up? I'm not too sure about it. And like I mentioned earlier, how this is almost like a huge spot for the Steelers in terms of momentum. I don't know. I just think vibes are kind of down right now. I mean, even if it's Rodgers, like, he is having the worst year of his career in a lot of major statistics. So something's just off with this offense. I know Kenny Gainwell's been making some plays. You know, Darnell Washington, 310 pounds, made a big play last week. But with DK Metcalf just not being as involved as we all thought he was going to be after they traded for him and gave him 4 years, $120 million. I don't know, dude. The Steelers defense just is really, really concerning for me. And with the way the Bears are playing, I think they're opposite trajectories here. I'm going to take the team on the up instead of the team on the down.
Yeah, man. Bears could win that division. They could win that division, but I think they're going to make the playoffs. I just think they might.
That would be crazy. All right, next up, we got the Pats at the Bengals. New England is a 6-point favorite. The total 51.5, of course, because it's the Bengals defense. But we may have the return of Joe Burrow. And even with Joe Burrow, 6 points right now, Vegas knows that he was a full participant the last 2 days, and it's still 6, which is interesting to me. What do you think here, Reagan? You going to go with the Bengals and Joe Burrow back in action? Can they pull off the upset against the streaking Patriots?
No, well, I'm going to take the Bengals to cover, but the Patriots to win, dude. I'm not betting against the Patriots. I think it'll be close just because the Bengals are at home, and that's a lot of points, and their offense can hang with just about anybody. And the nice thing for the Bengals is, like, they can't run the football anyway, so it doesn't matter that New England's stingy. Like, that's where you beat them is through the air. So Flacco, Burrow, I don't care. It'll be a close game back and forth. Ultimately, it comes down to New England has a solid defense where the Bengals have a trash defense. So I think that's where, the Patriots will pull away towards the fourth quarter, and maybe it is tied, but the Patriots end up, getting 2 touchdowns late or like a touchdown late to, keep it close and then back and forth. But ultimately, let's be real here. Don't fade them, but Bengals will hang around. So give me the 6 points for the Bengals, but the Patriots to win.
Bro, the Bengals defense is actually the worst in the league by a fucking mile. It's actually unbelievable. Yeah. They allow 30 more yards per game than the second worst defense in total yardage.
Dallas?
Commanders actually now. Dallas is the third worst.
Well, getting Quinnon also is good for the Cowboys. So
yes, and the Bengals have allowed 41 touchdowns this season. That's an insane number. The next highest is 35. So yeah, I mean they're burnt toast.
Them in the fantasy playoffs.
Maybe
you should
burnt
be targeting
toast.
someone in this fucking game, bro. Give me
I am
Travion or something or Diggs or Ramondre.
Travion is absolutely in big dogs this week. I mean, he's only been in once, and he burned me week 1 because I thought he was going to be the starting running back. Now he finally is, and he scored 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games. So you could book it. Travion will be in big dogs. Seemed like Travion Amon-Ra is the start. That now that we're working through it, and also there's no Jamar Chase for Cincinnati with the suspension for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. So that's probably why you're also seeing a 6. But I'm going to take the Bengals to not just cover. To win this game, Reagan. To win this game. I am. Wow. I'm going with the upset here. I'm banking on Joe Burrow being back. Even without Jamar Chase, it's going to have to be a big T. Higgins game, and I think this is a huge boost for Chase Brown too. He could take a step up, but I don't know. If Christian Gonzalez is going to shadow T. Higgins, we might have a problem, and that might happen. But fuck it, dude. I'm just going with the vibes here. Absolutely. The Cincinnati defense is way worse. It's the worst in the league. But I just think the boost to morale that Joe Burrow being back will provide to this team, and kind of that mentality where it's like, fuck it, like let's just go to work, like let's go get a win, boys, and having their leader back will just rejuvenize this team. I don't know. I also think the Patriots are kind of due for a clanker. So yeah, maybe they're looking past the Bengals here with no Jamar Chase. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals at home for the upset.
All right, fair.
All right, moving on here. We got a divisional matchup in the NFC North. 9 and the Minnesota Vikings. Did you see that? J.J. McCarthy calls himself 9.
I did see that, and he has 9 picks. So it's working out nice.
There you go. 9, and the Minnesota Vikings travel to Lambeau to face the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay at 6-3-1, Minnesota at 4-6. Packers are a 6-point favorite, total 41.5. Very, very, very low total. And it's looking like the Packers will be without Josh Jacobs, so it should be the Emmanuel Wilson show. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Minnesota been very, very dicey. McCarthy's catching a lot of slack. He says he feels like the cork's about to pop off the bottle. He's right there from figuring his shit out and this offense hitting new strides. But I got to see it to believe it because this Packers defense is no joke. Who you going with in this one?
I'm going with the Packers. They're so due for just a dominant win. So I think they're going to kill them in this one at home. It's go time there. I trust LaFleur. He's a great coach. So I think he's going to have the perfect game plan to make McCarthy uncomfortable. I think the defense is going to step up big here, but I think the offense will finally start to look better and show some semblances of hey, we're actually a good team and we're not just relying on our defense because we all know that they need to get it done. So, oh, wow, Josh Allen is not
fuck. Oh, that's not good. Oh, Josh Allen just got crushed.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
I don't even know. We'll see. It's tough, dude. Damn. But, yeah, so I'm going to take the Packers to cover and win here. I just think they're so due for a blowout, like just a huge dominant wins on both sides of the ball.
I'm going to take the Packers to win because they are the better team here. And they are at Lambeau, but 6 is a lot for me. I'm going to take Minnesota to actually cover here. I believe in their defense. And, Green Bay just, I don't know if they have blowout potential in them with the way Jordan Love's been playing without Tucker Kraft, without Josh Jacobs, without Jaden Reed. I mean, their first round pick has been pretty non-existent at receiver and Matthew Golden. I know Christian Watson scored twice last week against the Giants, so that's a big positive for him, a big boost. But for me, it's just like I don't think the Packers can run away with it. I think it's going to be a tight game, and I think all this shit that J.J. McCarthy's getting right now, I think he's actually going to show up and have a good game here.
9's going to show up for the dub.
Yeah, I think 9's going to show up and be improved, but at the end of the day, I think Packers are going to win by a field goal.
Fair.
All right, man. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans. Of course, Seattle 7-3. The Titans with the number 1 pick right now at 1-9. And this spread is ridiculous. We got 12.5 for the Seahawks on the road. On the road, 12.5. I don't know about you, man. This is my survivor pick this week. It just seems way too easy. This is also my survivor pick, yeah. I don't know how Cam Ward's going to fare against the Seattle defense. I think it's a blowout. I'm sure you agree.
Not only that, I mean, Seattle's coming off of a tough loss, so they're going to want to adjust here, and it's just hard to – I mean, maybe Tennessee gets like a cover at home, but I'm just going to go with Seattle to dominate on all fronts here. I've seen nothing from the Titans and that offense in Cam Ward that makes me think that they would be able to put up points to actually win this game. It is a fat spread, and Darnold has been struggling as of recent, so, sure – the Titans defense can keep him in it for a little bit and maybe get a cover if it's maybe a 20-point game or even a 15-point game going into the fourth where, when they go into that prevent. But I think Cam Ward's going to struggle here. I think he's going to turn the ball over a few times. And that's going to bode to Seattle getting in great position for their offense, whether they actually house one. Maybe we put Seattle anytime touchdown score in big dogs.
Yeah.
First ever defense. That would be something.
Dude,
but
that would be something. I have Seattle starting in multiple fantasy leagues this week, and I am stoked for it because, a couple weeks back, they went absolutely nuts and won me a couple matchups, actually. So I've been holding 2 defenses because I never wanted to drop Seattle's defense, and now we have a great matchup. I think it's the number 1 defense on the slate for sure.
450.
No, that would juice it up. Pick 6 is definitely in the cards. I mean, what does Cam Ward have to work with in terms of his weapons right now? It's actually insane.
Bro, bad.
No Calvin Ridley. I know Jameer DK is not ruled out, but he's banged up. And
how are these guys going to get separation against this elite Seattle secondary? They're not going to get any separation.
No, I mean, Ward's probably going to throw the ball 40 times and complete 18 passes for $135 with 2 picks. That's the stat line that I'm thinking in my head.
Show and the Tajay Spear check down show. Those guys will probably. Maybe I'll throw one of them as one of my felt 5 plays for a shit ton of receiving yards.
They have, but because they can't run the ball either with Pollard or Spears, and Seattle's got Leonard Williams on the interior. They got Byron Murphy. They got some guys on that line too. Where I'm just if Tennessee scores more than 20 points, I'd be insanely shocked here. And I think this is a really good spot for Sam Darnold to get right because he's had 2 bad games in a row after playing unbelievable for a long stretch. So
yeah, their team total's at 12.5. That seems pretty high.
yeah, it does seem high.
Under 7.5 plus 275.
I think we're going to see Sam Darnold and JSN go to work here. JSN, like over 100 yards and a touchdown feels pretty right to me.
Should I take Seattle as my 5-unit play to win with shutout plus 1,400?
Whoa! A shutout. That's crazy.
Odds. How is Tennessee plus 3,500 to win with a shutout? Like, and what? Like, that should be fuck. That's terrible odds. Like, first off, like, they have what? In what
you
world?
Might as well just donate that money to charity. I mean, what the fuck? How are they gonna win in a shutout?
Plus 35 is crazy, bro. That is crazy.
All right, man. The next game on the slate, I wish this wasn't at 1:00, but we got the 8-2 Colts traveling to Arrowhead against the 5-5 Kansas City Chiefs. It is the Chiefs that are the favorites here. 3.5 points. Yeah. That hook. Damn, that hook, man. That's unbelievable that there's a hook on that. Total 49.5. We talked about this one earlier, Reagan. You said this is your biggest must-win of the week for Kansas City. Do they get it done?
No. Colts win.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm taking the Colts here, man. I don't care. I think this is a classic game. I feel like where everybody and their mother is going to be betting on KC, and Vegas is going to fucking clean up in this. Like, there's no way the Chiefs have a losing record at this point in the season. There's no way. So I think the Colts are going to actually cover and win here. They've had 2 weeks to prepare, so I think that's huge. Defense will get healthy. Offense will get more healthy. And, this is why you go out and get a guy like Sauce. I'm not sure if Ward's going to play yet, but if they get him back too, that's going to be massive. I haven't heard either way. So if those guys can kind of limit Mahomes in that. I mean, we saw even last week, like how many fits they were able to cause on the Denver side for that KC offense. So I'm just going to roll with the Colts, man. They've been beating teams all season, and Jones has shown enough where it's like, hey, if Kansas City is able to take Taylor out of this game, that's fine. Like Daniel Jones, you can rely on his arm to get the ball to Alex Pierce and to Michael Pittman and to Tyler Warren. So this Colts offense is really good and can beat you in so many different ways.
Yeah, this is a really tough one for me to pick because, like, I am a big believer in the bye week effect, having that extra rest, extra time to prepare. I think Kansas City actually matches up pretty well with the Colts. The Colts, they also don't have DeForest Buckner. He's out on IR. But they're much more stout against the run than they are through the air. Obviously, that's why they made the big move to get Sauce Gardner, but still no Ward yet. So for a KC team that with Kareem Hunt, like they're not going to be able to run the ball effectively that much anyways. It's going to be on Mahomes and getting the ball to his weapons. I don't know. If this game was at Indy, I actually would probably go with the Colts here. But the fact that it's in Arrowhead, I just can't. I can't see them going to 5-6 at Arrowhead, dude. I really can't do it. And the Colts, I mean, absolutely, it's a huge Cinderella story. They're awesome. And DJ's been great. Happy for him. But this is just a different animal going to Arrowhead at this time of the year. So give me the KC to win and cover the 3.5.
Yeah, I'm sure. You talking heads always get this wrong.
If I'm a talking head, what does that make you?
Just a guy who kills it on the spread. Just a guy who knows ball.
Just a guy
who knows ball. That's all.
Okay. All right, man. Unfortunately, we got to talk about your Jets. They're traveling to Baltimore here. Jets 2-8. Baltimore 5-5 with 4 straight wins. Baltimore's a 13.5 point favorite. Total 44.5, and it is Tyrod Taylor for the Jets this week. Interesting. Maybe they can complete some forward passes this week, Reagan. What say you?
I would say the passing offense will be better. Can't get any worse. Can't be worse. Right?
Can't be worse.
I am going to take the Jets to cover here.
Why?
Just because it's just a lot of points, and I actually think, the offense will look better. It can't look any worse. I mean, Fields is so bad as a passer, so at least Tyrod's a better passer. I haven't been overly impressed with this Ravens defense all season, so I think even if Lamar...
They've been better recently. They've been better.
Yeah, granted, look who they've gone against recently. The schedule's definitely softened up.
9, JJ McCarthy in the
That's
Vikings.
What I mean. So the season's really, it's not like they've played this gauntlet of a schedule, and it's not like the Jets are good either, but... I just think that it's a shit ton of points. So I think the Ravens are in control the whole entire game here. I think they win it handedly, but if you were to tell me that they're up, double digits in the halftime, and then they kind of take their foot off the gas pedal and are just like, yeah, we don't need any more injuries. Like, we're just going to try to run it down your throat with Derrick Henry, and then the Jets get some like easy prevent garbage time bullshit to get it back to a cover. Would that really surprise you? No. So I'll take the Ravens to win, but the Jets to cover.
I'm going to take the Ravens to win and cover. I know Lamar popped up yesterday with an ankle, but they said he's going to be fine. That's good. I just don't feel like he's going to have to scramble a ton in this one to get the job done. I think it's going to be 25 carries for Derrick Henry for 120 yards and a touchdown or two in here. I don't see how the Jets without Quinton Williams and Sauce Gardner are going to be able to stop this Ravens offense. Now it's at full strength. Tyrod Taylor does not move me at all.
Revenge game.
You could say that about a lot of Tyrod Taylor starts, though. You know what I mean?
Hey, revenge game. Revenge
so,
game.
I don't know, dude.
At least throw him in big dogs to score a touchdown.
I can't do it.
Revenge game, though, dude.
I love the revenge game. But I can't take Tyrod Taylor.
Plus 550, that'll juice it.
I can't do it. The Ravens just a much better team. They're streaking. They're on the up. Aaron Glenn the only thing going for the Jets is just Aaron Glenn's funny press conferences because he goes to war with the beat reporters. Like, there's nothing good in Florham Park these days. So give me the Ravens to beat the shit out of the Jets. Maybe 27-10 feels kind of right.
Yeah, I actually like Mitchell receiving yards too. It's at you can get him for 40 at plus 130.
He has to catch the ball for that, though.
I
right?
know. That's going to be, some of them were Fields' faults, but regardless, he was cooking Christian Gonzalez in that game. He was cooking him and getting wide open. He just couldn't catch the ball. So this Ravens secondary is definitely in their corners are no Christian Gonzalez. So I think he can if he can squeeze onto the ball and hold it, and Tyrod could throw him some balls. I think that's easy. He looked fast. He could take one to the house. Maybe I'll take him what's him for 100 yards? Oh, plus 1880. Maybe I'll flirt with that.
Wow.
Maybe a little 1 unit play.
I think Mark Andrews also has 4 touchdowns his last 3 games. He's finished a top 10 fantasy tight end the last 3 weeks.
Well, when you get like a 30-yard rushing touchdown, that helps.
Yeah, I think Mark Andrews is in play for another touchdown here. He's not going to get a ton of volume, but I don't know. He just kind of seems to – last year, he did the same thing down the stretch. He just would have 3-4 catches, 20 to 40 yards, touchdown, like on repeat. So Lamar loves his tight ends. Not going to be as mobile, I don't think, with that ankle. So – Derrick Henry, play action, Mark Andrews. That's going to be the recipe in this game for the Ravens. All right, we got a battle of 2-8 ball clubs. The Cleveland Browns travel to Las Vegas, and the Raiders are 4-point favorites. The lowest total on the slate here, 36.5. And it is legendary time, Reagan. Legendary. Shadur Sanders getting his first NFL start. So, good thing for Josina Anderson that Shador is going to get first-team reps this week, so that means he's automatically going to be good, according to Josina Anderson. So, hey, do you believe in Shadur Sanders to get a win in his first NFL start?
I do. Now that the linemen are going to block and that the coach isn't trying to take him down, he got his first-team reps, the coach and the linemen and all that stuff, it's all going to click.
They know his cadence now, so now they're going to score.
Those jerk-offs from preseason that were trying to actively get Shador in trouble won't be there either. He gets to play with the first teamers instead of the guys that were trying to purposely sabotage him. But no, I do like this a lot, honestly. I kind of like his passing yards too. Like, it's only at 160. It's so low. And like, I feel like he's got to throw the ball. Like, you can't be any more conservative than Gabriel was. Like, he's plus 261 for 200 yards.
Raiders.
They'll definitely a Shador passing prop will definitely be in the felt 5. Jerry Jeudy, I think this will benefit. Honestly, I think these passing options will do better because the fact that the game script is positive and the fact that Shador can't be any more conservative. Like, I don't know if he's going to be better than Gabriel long term, but he was so freaking conservative. So I think Shador will push the ball downfield more. I do have them winning also. And it's nothing to do with Shador, honestly, really, any of this. It's the fact that the Browns defense is good, like really good. And this Raiders defense is mid, and this Raiders offense is below average. So I think the Browns defense alone will win them this game. Like, they're like, and at plus 475 to score, I like that a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers in this game, to be honest, on both sides of the ball. So very interested to see how that all pans out, but I don't know.
Dude, I actually agree with you. I'm going to go with Shadur and the Browns to get a road win here as 4-point dogs. And absolutely in sync here. It's the defense for me, not Shadur. The fact that the Raiders offense looked that bad against Dallas is really alarming to me. The fact that the Browns have the number one passing defense in football and Geno Smith is just so freaking bad this year, and the big thing is the Raiders' offensive line has been a goddamn mess. It's been so bad where even like Raiders fans that you took the sexy pick with Ashton Jeanty, they're all like, we should have took a fucking tackle. Like that's what smart teams do.
Yeah, they should have taken
Membo. No one could block. Yeah, they should have taken Membo because no one can block for Jeanty. So Miles Garrett has 15 sacks. He's on record watch right now.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful matchup for Miles Garrett. He's going to have more than one in this game. I think he has at least 2. Fuck it. I'm calling it Miles Garrett with 3 sacks. One of them a strip sack. One of them a strip sack. And the Browns are going to get a win with Shadur 16-10. That's the score I predict. A touchdown from Judkins and a couple of field goals, 16-10.
Yeah, I'm cool with you throwing Judkins and big dogs too. I mean, I don't know. Depends on what his odds are. Actually,
the lowest total in the game in the slate. You know what I mean? It's dicey. There's a lot of guys.
You got to think though, he's going to get the ball like 30 times though.
Because it is Shadur. You're right. It is Shadur.
Well, not even that. It's just like they want, like from everything this offense is showing that they want to run the ball through Judkins. It's just unfortunately in a lot of these matchups, it's not feasible. But this is one that projects and should be a very close battle, and he's plus 125, so you can get a little juice in there. But this just bodes well for the Browns and what they want to do here.
I'll think about it. Judkins he has been a winner for Big Dog this year, so I don't mind throwing Judkins back in. I think it was the Judkins Amon Ra were in the same parlay that cashed the last cash we had, like week 8.
Forget that, buddy.
So hey, we could go back to the well a little bit there. They got some good matchups.
And don't you forget it.
Oh, I will never forget it. I have a Big Dogs Hall of Fame.
There you go.
You can't just be in it once and be in the Hall of Fame now. You got to be like an Amon Ra where you help me cash a couple times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or you got to have like something sick and be like the last guy to get in. Like Jaden Daniels, Big Dogs Hall of Fame. He's cashed out twice for us. I think you need to hit at least twice to be considered a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, fair.
You agree?
Fair.
It's my Hall of Fame, so I can do what I want with it. So
I'll agree.
That's what I think.
Keep giving me the locks.
All right, man. Let's continue on here in the 4:00 slates. We got the Jags. We got the Cardinals. Jacksonville 6-4, Arizona 3-7. The Jags only a 3-point favorite, which is interesting because they just destroyed the Chargers. Arizona, I know Jacoby Brissett set an NFL record for the most completions this past weekend.
He slangs that thing.
He slangs that thing. Hall of Fame.
He might be in the slanging that thing Hall of Fame.
Don't matter. It's looking like Marv is probably going to miss again. So it doesn't matter. You got Michael Wilson. You got Trey McBride. Brissett slanging that thing around the yard. 3 points is a very, very interesting line here. It almost feels trappy. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually taking the Cardinals to win here, straight up at home. I'm pretty impressed still with like that Dallas game. I know it's been bad since then, but I think this is very feasible. And Jacksonville's been, one of many teams this year that plays to their competition. Whether they'll go out and beat the Chiefs and then they'll, unfortunately get beat by the Texans and blow a game. I mean, then they go out and kill the Chargers, so they play to their competition. I think this is another case of them playing down to their competition, and everyone's like, all right, maybe Jacksonville's back after the dominant win. But I just don't know. I still don't fully believe in this team, even at 6-4. I had a lot more faith coming into the season, but it's hard for me now with how bad Lawrence has played to really believe in it. Because even when they win, it's got to be the defense. Like Lawrence has been awful, and that we don't even know if obviously Hunter's out for the year. We don't know if Brian Thomas is going to play this week. It's limited so far. I would imagine he doesn't. So it's going to be the Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers show, but it might not matter anyway if Lawrence can't get him the ball.
I know. My thought process here is I'm going to spring the trap, and I'm going to go with the Jaguars, just with the way they looked last week. That defense is making significant strides. I think the way that they won last week, even without Brian Thomas, but the run game with ETN and they can do that against Arizona. I'm not concerned. Arizona's run defense is middle of the pack. Their defense is pass defense is bottom 12 in the league. So with Jacoby Myers, and I'm banking on Brian Thomas playing because he was game time decision last week. I think he's going to be back out there. He's been practicing in a limited capacity the past 2 weeks. So I'm hoping he's back because I kind of need him in 2 leagues, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just think the Jags are a better team, like, to be completely frank with you. And I think they have enough on offense to get points on the board, and I trust the way their defense is playing. Jacoby Brissett, that was an unbelievable performance last week. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate it here. But, hey, I think Trey McBride's going to continue his unbelievable stretch and have another monster game.
Hey, no reason to not believe that. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent. Something I'm monitoring as well is the Arizona backfield. Trey Benson practicing in a limited capacity. You already have DeMarcado ruled out, Bam Knight ruled out. So right now the only healthy running back is Michael Carter. If they get Trey Benson back, it's an interesting spot where you're going to go with the guy you took in the second round last year or Michael Carter, who's a cast off. I don't know. I know it's his first action back.
I would imagine they'll both. It'll probably be a split, but
probably be a split. But if Benson, he's been out since like week 4, so if he's feeling good, it's been a long time. Probably go with him. But for me, I'm desperate in one league, and I think I'm actually going to roll with Trey Benson if he's healthy at the flex.
Fair.
It's not ideal. I don't love it, but it's kind of the position I'm in with all the injuries I have. All right. Staying in the slate here, we got an NFC South matchup. The Atlanta Falcons travel to New Orleans, and it's the 2-8 Saints that are favored over the 3-7 Falcons by 2.5 points. Another very low total at 39.5 with no Penix and no London for Atlanta. That's the Kirk Cousins effect for you. Kirko chains with Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier against Tyler Shough and the Saints offense off a bye. So the bye here is definitely in play. Do you believe in Tyler Shough to get a win here?
This one's kind of tough, man. I was going back and forth. Both teams suck. I went with the Saints because they're at home. They're coming off the bye, so you could kind of have a better game plan. I think they kind of probably looked at the tape with Shough over the past 2 weeks, who I've been pretty impressed with. But they were able to look, hey, this is what's working for the kid. This is what's not. Like, let's build around it, like what works for him. So I think they'll have a pretty good game plan here. It's a division game, so it's going to be close. But I'm ultimately going with the team that's has a little bit of momentum going into the bye after boat racing Carolina, versus the team in Atlanta who's falling apart. They just lost their starting quarterback and going to be missing their starting wide receiver. So I just think that locker room is getting lost quick. They're probably going to fire Raheem Morris pretty soon, and it just seems like a game where it's just pick your poison. But at least I've liked what I've seen from Shough, and the team's still fighting for Kellen Moore.
Man, this is tough for me. I'm going to go with the Falcons. They have more talent. Like, you can't deny it. Their offensive line's in better shape. They have Bijan Robinson. The Saints don't. Like, the teams beat Atlanta by running the ball, and it's like, what has Kamara shown me? I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a good spot for him to have a good game at home against the not-so-great run defense, but Atlanta is still top 6 in terms of pass defense, which I think matters against a rookie quarterback. For me, it's just they're going to have to just feed Bijan the ball at least 25 times for them to win the game, I think. And I don't know. I think the fact that they're road dogs, I kind of like that. And I want to get a little frisky with it. So give me the more, what I believe, still with the injuries, a more talented Atlanta team that, I mean, they don't have their first-round pick, so they kind of have a little bit more to play for here.
True. That's fair. Because, like, what otherwise, like, they're not that the players tank, but it's like the coaching staff at least is going to try to put them in the best position to win because they have no reason to lose.
Yeah, and I feel like there's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they genuinely need, like, to put their foot on the gas and go. Where the Saints, it's more of a nonchalant, like, let's build this thing the right way. Like, let's have our young quarterback develop. Like, I don't know, man. It's almost like there's, like, with Kirk Cousins, like, he's a vet. Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's a different mindset between the two teams. And
That's true. Because Cousins, is going to be playing for a future job, whether it's probably not here, but somewhere. So he's going to be trying his hardest to ball out and get himself another opportunity in the future.
Yeah. All right, this is a fun game in the 4:00 slate. The Eagles travel to Jerry's World. 8-2 Philly.
World.
4-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. Defense looks improved with these reinforcements. I know it's a small sample size, and this will be a good test for him. Although that Eagles offense has not been a juggernaut by any stretch of the means. No Lane Johnson for Philadelphia, but you got to think this is a good spot for them to maybe get right in the passing game. Jalen Hurts finding his guys, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. The Cowboys are 3.5-point dogs at home. I don't know, man. For me, it's like I'm done picking against the Eagles. They always find a way to win. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm picking the Eagles here to win and cover. Like you said, I mean, they just keep winning. They just keep finding ways. I think they're a much better team than Dallas. Even with Dallas being at home, it's just I don't care. The Eagles defense is also playing at an elite level right now, holding the past two matchups to under 10 points. Do I think that happens here? No, because I think Dallas's offense is really starting to click and hum here, but I just think the Eagles are just more talented and have a way more complete team. Even with the Quinnon Williams out, I'm still not fully sold on this Cowboys team. So I will take the Eagles to cover and win here. I think it'll be close, similar to what we saw on Thursday Night Football to open up the year. But ultimately, I just think Dallas is a little too late on their season where Eagles are, they're not in their best form, but they're in a dominant form, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles here. I do think I'm curious to see what they do with Quinyon Mitchell because he's playing at like an all-pro caliber level right now. I'm curious if he's going to shadow Lamb or is it like, all right, just stay on the side because Pickens is also a dog. Because I'm tempted to think about George Pickens for big dogs. He's just been really damn good, and I'm like totally admitting the fact that I underestimated his impact on this offense. Now it hasn't led to wins and losses because their defense is so bad, but. Yeah. Like George Pickens has been an animal, and I don't know if he's drawing the other corner from Philly. I think that's a mismatch that Dallas will need to exploit to win this game. But for me, it's like even with the Eagles being on the road, I just feel like they're gonna find a way to win, dude. Like it just feels like it. Saquon loves playing in Jerry's World too, and I just can't deny the fact that the way their defense has looked the past 2 weeks against some legit offenses in Green Bay and Detroit. So for me, it's got to be the Eagles. Every time I pick against them, right? I lose. I lose every time I pick against these guys. I fucking hate them, but I hate the Cowboys too, so I'm fine doing it this week.
Fair.
We got a fun game next up here. Does this qualify as a revenge game for Baker Mayfield?
Yeah,
Tampa Bay at the Rams. Tampa Bay at 6-4. They're sliding a little bit. The Rams at 8-2. I mean, they're scorching hot, and they're a 7-point favorite in this game. Total 49.5. That's very high. I got to think about a Ram in my parlay, I think, too, because that total is really juicy, and the way this offense is looking, I mean, Devontae Adams is automatic. I don't know. It just seems like it's too easy for me with this matchup. Baker Mayfield has said, he said today, he's like, I've definitely felt something change in terms of our mentality and how we're approaching things with this losing skid that they're on. Maybe it's all the injuries catching up to him, but I don't know. He acknowledges it. And he also said, like, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, going to the Rams, like, rejuvenated my career and brought that joy of football back into my life. So for Baker, this one's probably going to mean a lot. He's going to see Sean McVay. They're going to dap each other up. Probably going to be very thankful. It'll be cool. But I think Baker Mayfield's going to want to prove something here. With all that being said, it's a 7-point spread. That's pretty fat. What do you think, Reagan?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams to win in all facets here. Cover win. Even with Chris Godwin, officially being back and Bucky Irving, a chance he's back. I don't think it's going to matter. The Rams have just been.
Rondé Barber said he works for Bucs Radio. He said today that Bucky is not going to play, even though it hasn't been announced by the team yet. But he's like pretty in with the Bucs. So it looks like no Bucky Irving. It's be Sean Tucker again for Tampa Bay.
And it doesn't really matter to me either way because like even if Bucky is back, I think he's going to be pretty limited. So that's kind of what I assumed. But I know they did announce Godwin will be back, so that is massive.
That's a boost, yeah.
But he'll probably still even be limited as well. Regardless of that, though, I mean, the Rams have been clicking on both sides of the ball. Tampa Bay's still so banged up. So I'm going to take the piss hot Rams versus the struggling Bucks right now, who are really going to be, really, especially if the Panthers to win, like they're going to be limping through this division. But right now, the way it's going, like there's still a chance, like the division winner only goes 9-8 here.
Yeah, there is a chance division winner goes 9-8, and it just seems like this is always the division where that happens, ironically enough. Yeah. But I'm going to take the Rams to win because you're right. They are piss hot. They are at home. Right. They are the better team. Yeah. But I'm going to take the Bucks to cover. I don't know, man. Baker, I just respect the hell out of the dude. I think he's going to be fired up for this one, playing against the Rams. I just mentioned earlier, he gives a lot of credit to this team, this organization, and specifically Sean McVay for getting him back and getting him right. So I think he's going to play his heart out in this one, to be honest with you. I think he's going to try to will his team to a win. I just think he's outgunned here. And their defense, particularly in the back end, won't be able to hang with these LA wide receivers in Puka and Devontae. So Rams will win, but I respect Baker Mayfield enough and the energy he's going to have for this matchup that they can cover 7 points.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's just tough. It really is tough just with how bad, Tampa Bay's looked the past 2 weeks. And Baker's taken a step back. Obviously, ton of injuries to his wide receiver core, but it's just hard to have any faith in them right now.
I know. And even since Emeka Buka kind of got banged up, he hasn't been the same player because he was so freaking good the first month of the season. He's really slowed down too. Maybe getting Godwin back will help him out and take a little tension off of him. But
I would think that's also a big factor. It's like, hey, teams are looking at it and it's like, yeah, this guy's cooking. Like, we'll let the other receivers beat us. Like, let's figure out every way possible to take him out. And the injury obviously has it, but it's a lot harder to guard him when there's Godwin and Mike Evans with him. So we'll see.
That is true. That's a fun game for Sunday Night Football, though. I like that. A high total. I like doing the primetime games for big dogs too. So definitely in play.
All right, let's move on to Monday night, man.
Monday night to bring us home on tonight's pod. The Carolina Panthers at 6-5 travel to San Fran. 7-4 San Francisco 49ers, led by Brock Purdy, who's back after a great performance last week. And San Fran is also a 7-point favorite in this matchup with the same exact total from the other game, 49.5. Interesting. The NFC West teams, both at home, both 7-point favorites against two NFC South teams. Same exact total. What are the odds of that? Vegas. Sometimes Vegas just makes they just make you smile sometimes. With all that being said, Reagan, I got to think you're going to go with your Panthers, right?
I mean, the Niners are the team I have coming out of the NFC at the start of the season, but I'm going to go with the Panthers. Shocker, right? I do think they win this one.
Pick them every week. I
know. Hey, it's working out well this year. They're 6-5, so it's worked out more times than it hasn't. I think they've covered more than 6 times. So, but I like what I'm seeing from the Panthers right now. While I do like a lot what I'm seeing from the Niners, and it helps that Purdy's back, Kittle's back. They're getting healthy. Pearsall should be back. So, with all that being said, I just think the Panthers offense has been piss hot as well. And the Panthers defense is at least healthy, where the Niners are just playing with all their second and third string guys. And, their offense is going to have to put up like 30 points for me, in my opinion, to win it. And I think this is a Panthers coming out moment, really putting the league on notice on national television. Like, hey, we're not stingy. Like, we are a playoff team. So I think this is their big coming out game. Or maybe they'll lose by 30 and I'm like, damn it. But I think this is a prime opportunity. And it's looking like, I was looking at the schedule. They have week 17 when they do those like Saturday night flexing games. It looks like, or week 16. I forget which one it was. I think it's 17 actually.
Yeah, I think it's 17.
Panthers Seahawks are one of the matchups. So I'm like, they'll probably get another primetime game later on because that would be another good matchup. So we might get to see them twice in primetime this year. Who would have thought? Who do you got though?
I think Carolina actually matches up better with San Fran than they do with Seattle. I'm going to take San Fran to win. I mean, the fact that they're 7-4 right now with all the injuries that they've had is like really, really impressive. I know on Monday's pod, I kind of gave Kyle Shanahan a little bit of flowers that he should be in consideration for Coach of the Year. Maybe that was last week's pod. I don't know. Get him jumbled up. But for me, like Kittle, McCaffrey, Purdy, at home, prime time, it just feels right that they're going to get a win. I do have the Panthers covering the 7 though. Like Bryce Young
Oh, all right.
Let's hope we see the Bryce Young from last week and not the Bryce Young from 2 or 3 weeks ago, because it is crazy how volatile of a quarterback he is. And when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, boy, is it really bad. And he looks like one of the worst starters in football. So it's really hard for me to predict this team week in and week out because of that. But last week just felt like Tet McMillan's true coming out party, where it was all the talk that Ibuka was the stud receiver from this class. And now you can't deny it. Tet McMillan's right up there with him. He has more catches, more receiving yards, and I think he's tied with touchdowns. So, yeah, it's going to have to be through the air, and this Niners defense being so banged up, it's another really good opportunity for Bryce Young to keep his hot streak going and continue it. Let's see if he's got it, man. I don't think they pull out the win here, but they certainly can keep this game close, and maybe it comes down to the way end, and the Niners get a game-winning field goal to get the win.
Yeah, dude. It is going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be a big game for both the running backs. I think they're going to put up a shit ton of fantasy points. They've been 2 of the top 5 per game guys, so I'm excited to see what we get from Daddle and McCaffrey. That's going to be back and forth. I know McCaffrey's minus 400 to score. I'm like, geez.
I can't take him because I took him 2 weeks ago, not in big dogs. I just took him, and he didn't score. Brian Robinson did. He got tackled to 1 twice, and I was like, that minus 200 is just tough laying that. And then the next week he could score 3 times and you're like, what the fuck? It was so easy. So I don't know, man. He's pretty automatic, but this Panthers run defense has certainly improved with Derek Brown back in the fold.
Yeah,
and
I think
the other pieces they've added
is definitely in play though at plus odds, because I think he's going to be featured a lot in this one, especially with how banged up the Niners are.
Yeah, that's a good call. I'll definitely consider that for big dogs. I appreciate the
please do. Please.
I appreciate it. All right, Felt fans, that wraps up our Week 12 predictions here. We appreciate you sticking with us. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub. As always, we'll catch you next week here on Around the Felt Sport.